It's 1917 and war is raging in Europe, with millions dying on the Western Front. In America, it's just content watching because the Kaiser was like, hey guys, let's not blow up random American ships going to Britain. Okay, donkey. Tides begin to turn in Germany's favor after British submarines accidentally torpedo an American freighter bound for Germany. After a "hey stop it" from the international community, the British were forced to partially end the blockade on Germany, preventing a famine in the Central Powers. The Austrians also see success in the Caporetto offensive, as they beat the Italians back to the Piave River. It's only when the Italians decide to wake up from their nap that they're able to prevent the fall of Venice. The Ottomans continuously lose land like in our timeline, but the last-minute German reinforcements prevent a total collapse of the Rump Empire. By March of 1918, Russia finally drops out of the war due to its own civil war. Germany carves out several client states in these newly acquired lands and can fully focus on beating back the French. Speaking of Russia, later that year Vladimir Lenin is assassinated. He is succeeded by Lev Kamenev, but Bolshevik morale is crushed. The Central Powers' success is continued at sea, where in the Second Battle of Jutland the Germans inflict enough damage on the Royal Navy to force a complete end to the British blockade. This seriously reinvigorates the starved German war machine. Back in Austria-Hungary, in order to fuel their current momentum, Kaiser Karl promises self-determination for the various ethnic groups in the empire, in return for their continued support of the war effort. This totally won't come back to haunt him. On March 2nd of 1919, the Germans, now bolstered by troops formerly on the Eastern Front, launch their grand offensive into France. The already exhausted British and French defenders are forced to retreat back to Paris. Not to be outdone, Austria-Hungary launches an offensive into Italy, forcing the Italians back to Rome by August 1st before they surrender. This now leaves the French southern region exposed to the Austrians. The British, seeing this, nope out of France, leaving the French alone to fight the Germans. The possible army mutiny and workers' revolution, the French finally capitulate to Germany on the 4th of October, with an official ceasefire being signed a month later in Copenhagen, ending the war in Europe. The defeated members of the Entente from mainland Europe are forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles. Serbia is forced to cede Macedonia to Bulgaria, with Austria getting oversight in Serbian affairs. Greece shares a similar fate and is forced to give up lots of its territory to Bulgaria and Germany. Romania cedes much of its land to Hungary and Bulgaria. It's also forced to lease its oil field to Germany. Full religious minority rights are issued in the country, which may or may not lead to discount Nazis in the future. Italy basically disintegrates into a bunch of duchies, principalities, and the Pope. Yeah, that kind of starts a civil war. France gives up much of its colonial empire and has to cede Lorraine to Germany. The Germans want to take more from France, but kind of just leave it alone due to the lands being occupied by Syndicalist rebellion, which we'll talk more about in part 2. Belgium, meanwhile, is set up as a rump kingdom with the Kaiser's son as king. With the Entente now being reduced to just Britain, Japan, and Portugal, the war only continues to be fought in small proxy conflicts, as either side is unable to be a direct threat to the other anymore. So by 1921, with the ceasefire running out, both sides sign the Peace with Honor, where the remaining Entente agrees to recognize Germany's peace treaties with the former members of the Entente, and return Germany's colonies. The treaty itself was signed on 11 a.m. on the 11th of November, 1921, ending the war after 7 long years. Hey guys, make sure to subscribe, because part 2 will be coming out soon, where I'm going to talk about what happens up to 1936. Thanks for watching.
Wer will die Sturm es